everybody, if you like video game live streams and cool people that play video games, then I suggest you check out Erin Plays on YouTube. And also check out her second YouTube channel, Erin Plays Extras, as well. That's Erin Plays and Erin Plays Extras on YouTube. Check out her videos, they're really awesome. Hey everybody, Timmy Flyersguy here. Do you like hockey podcasts? Do you like watching hockey podcasts? Do you love hockey? Well, if you love the Timmy Flyersguy podcast, I suggest you check out Tim and the Crease podcast, a podcast about Islanders hockey. Kim is a very passionate fan in Long Island who loves her Islanders. In her podcast, she talks about Isles hockey and many other things as well. Kim McCrease also is known as Isles Girl 3. So if you're in the mood for some good Islanders hockey and a good podcast about Isles hockey, then I suggest you check out the Kim and the Crease podcast about Islanders hockey, starring Isles Girl 3 on YouTube. Check her out. Her YouTube channel is Isles Girl 3.
And now, our feature presentation.
What's up, Philly? We're the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Let's go Flyers!
Everybody, it's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to this week's edition of Classic Flyers Theater. It's been a long time since I've done an episode for Classic Flyers Theater, but we're here in the next chapter of Classic Flyers Theater. I'm here to bring you more content and more episodes of Classic Flyers Theater. Now that we're done with my 100th episode, we're officially on episode 101 of Classic Flyers Theater. And in today's episode, we're going to take a look back at Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals from 1996 between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Florida Panthers. The Philadelphia Flyers just got done in their series with the Tampa Bay Lightning, eliminating the Tampa Bay Lightning from the playoffs. Philadelphia Flyers' next opponent was the Florida Panthers, a team that the Flyers kind of had trouble with, but a series that the Flyers didn't make interesting. So we're going to take you back to Game 3 of the 1996 Eastern Conference Semifinals between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Florida Panthers. So get ready, folks. Let's roll the footage.
Game number 2, unchallenged by the Panthers and by the authorities as well, which left Doug McLean of the Panthers burning up behind the bench. He was a little hot under the collar, but Florida knows it's a battle. John Van Beesbrook's been outstanding throughout the series. Veteran Dave Lowry's come through with character, and the temperature is about to rise at the arena they call the Big Pink. Florida's hockey fans are in a frenzy, even with Eric Lindros in town to make it hotter.
Well, it's easier if you can get a 2-on-1 situation on them, but you know, we don't want to really spend too much time just concentrating on Eric Lindros as much as he plays. You know, I like to use the philosophy, or the guys, everybody likes to use the philosophy about doing it team-wise, and Philadelphia Flyers are a very strong team with or without Eric Lindros.
From the Panthers, as they get set, you can't help but wonder, Brian, when's their bubble about to burst? Is it now that reality will set in and Philadelphia, with the performance by Lindros, will start to take over?
You know, some people have been asking that all year long, and it really hasn't happened at this point. Doug MacLean's a pretty confident guy, and he's pretty satisfied with the way his club is playing, that's for sure.
Panthers! Love it. Famous ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Here, 88 the temperature, and the main topic of conversation in Miami today. You can see the ice crew coming out. During the anthem, they pelted the Flyers with the rodents. The rats are back, and the Florida Panthers on home ice for game number 3.
They don't sell the toy rats in the Miami arena anymore. There was a league edict.
There's only one thing left to say. Let's get ready to rumble!
Michael Buffer is here, and a sellout crowd on hand. I don't know if you want to incite Eric Lindros anymore. He was in the mood for a rumble. Just prior to the game, we saw him working on the sticks, and he just looked at us, nodded, and said, round 3 tonight. He's ready.
And I don't think that the Florida Panthers have anybody, or that they really want to rumble. I think they want to get in Eric Lindros' face. I think they want to slow him down, but it doesn't do you much good to go out and fight Eric Lindros, because he won't drop the gloves in a close game.
Well, there's Ron Hextall starting once again. He won his 40th playoff game as a Flyer in game number 2. That's 5 more wins than Bernie Perrott did as a Philadelphia Flyer in the playoffs. And John Van Beesbrook at the other end, 44 saves in game number 2. 88's on the ice, coming off his best playoff game ever. And we'll see what kind of tone he can establish against these Panthers in game 3. Jody Hull is up front with Bill Lindsay for the Florida Panthers. And Tom Fitzgerald, as it's cleared out past Lindsay down the ice. There's Fitzgerald picking it up, looking to center, and a nice crawling defensive play by Peter Svoboda. John LeClaire rubbed off the puck by Bill Lindsay. LeClaire has it back again, flipping it out at center. That's gloved down, and the Panthers have some jump here, and a penalty coming up quickly against Philadelphia. 37 seconds into the game, and Bill McCreary making the first penalty call.
And it goes against Dale Hawerchuk, and you talked about the tone of the game, and I think it's important for Bill McCreary to establish a tone and how he's going to call this game. He quickly gets involved and calls a penalty on Dale Hawerchuk for tripping.
And you can see Dale showing the effects of a broken nose. He took that high stick from his teammate, Peter Svoboda, in game number 2.
The 4th time that Dale has broken his nose. Here's the trip right at center ice. Hawerchuk came across, takes his man down, and ends up in the penalty box.
So early on, Terry Murray's team is down a man, and there are the Panther numbers in this series. And overall, 7 for 38 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Surprisingly, Dave Lowry with 3 power play goals in the last 3 games.
Here's Jason Woolley, who will quarterback the power play, one of 7 defensemen. Gord Murphy in, but they did not want to drop Woolley because of his power play numbers. And the puck cleared out by Joel Otto. Pass from Shepard to Lowry, and that's broken up by Podine, who's been great killing penalties, and now they're tied up with Lowry in front of the Flyer bench. Stu Barnes. He's been the most dangerous attacker for Florida in the series. Passes on the right side. That's Vela moving up. Chris Therrien hitting him. Puck comes back to Terrien. Woolley returns it to Spela, and that is knocked away, and here's Brind'Amour speeding down the ice. Rod Brind'Amour shooting, and Van Beesbrook with his first stop. Spela can't come up with it. That's Trent Platt working it back to center. Svoboda to Desjardins, and Desjardins will put it back into the Florida zone with 48 seconds to go in the Howard Chuck minor. Now Niedermayer's up front with Mellanby, and Dvorak is playing on the left wing. Mellanby up ahead, and Jovanovski is checked. And Jovanovski has to regroup with Otto on him. 55 sends it in deep. Hextall out of the net as Mellanby crashes in on the forecheck. Niedermayer after the puck. Dvorak there as well for Florida. It comes loose, and Svoboda will send it down the ice.
Hard to get the forecheck going, even on the power play against this Philadelphia team. Ron Hextall handles the puck so well, and they're so big up front, they hold up all the forecheckers.
Here's Rob Niedermayer. Hextall out again, around the glass, past Trent Platt, kept in by Murphy, centered by Niedermayer. There's a big hit by Jovanovski. They keep it in. Mellanby shooting from a bad angle. Has it again, looking to center. Dvorak was loose, but up with the puck is Howard Chuck out of the penalty box, and Howard Chuck shooting on Van Beesbrook. Rebound, Brind'Amour. Stop Van Beesbrook. Now Howard Chuck's after it. Mellanby in the corner for Florida. Jovanovski clears it ahead. There's Niedermayer out to center. Dvorak can't handle it there. Brind'Amour brought it back in, and it came outside the line. Pat Balloon doesn't agree with the call, but it is offside against Philadelphia.
Life's complicated. Keep it simple. Clear your mind. Set it up.
Nobody knows the value of protection better than a quarterback. So take it from me. Your car needs protection from the sun. So don't just use any old stuff on the vinyl and rubber. Shine and protect them with Armor All Protector. Test-proof Armor All blocks up to 4 times more of the sun's damaging UV rays than the #2 brand. Shine's good. That's not protection. Let's face it, my head shines. But I still wouldn't play without my helmet. So don't just shine your car. Armor it with Armor All.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer or with more comfort than Gillette's Sensor XL. No razor is better.
Philadelphia Flyers play very well on the road, especially since March 22nd, their big one in Tampa Bay. When John LeClair came back from an ankle injury, scored a couple of goals. Tampa Bay lost that one 4-1 at home, and that set the Flyers on their way in that series.
Face off outside the Florida line. And Fitzgerald is matched up against Eric Lindros with Bill Lindsay and Jody Hull. Here's LeClair to the line, couldn't control it. Now Robert Spela flips it out to center ice. There's Carl Dykhouse, who scored a goal for the Flyers in Game 2. Native of Sept-Îles, Quebec. And Dykhouse chased back Svoboda. Finds LeClair at center, and here's John LeClair. Over to Lindros, a quick shot. And a rebound cleared to the corner. Lindros behind the net is LeClair. Off the stick of Lindros. And Bill Lindsay and Howard Chuck fence along the boards. It comes out, and here's Lindsay at center, dumping it into the Flyer zone as Florida makes a change. And it was from the Florida side of center, icing the call.
Florida Panthers feed on the excitement of this intimate arena. Played very well here at the Miami Arena. And they're a team concept, and the team thrives on the excitement that's created with all the rats and all the hoopla. It's unbelievable the coverage that this Florida team gets in Miami. It's front page of all the sports pages and a couple of follow-up stories and editorial.
Even a contest involving Doug MacLean. Everybody had to vote for which coach of a major franchise in South Florida had the best hair. And the good news for Doug MacLean is he beat Jimmy Johnson. Here's a rush in front. They jam away, and Van Beesbrook down as Kerry Huffman moved in on a rare defensive 4A for Philadelphia.
Very hard to beat John Van Beesbroek low on any wraparounds. He uses the butterfly. He's great with a stick, strong along the ice. Kerry Huffman was allowed to walk right in. Brindamore on the faceoff against Rob Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer is almost turned all the way around. Brindamore uses his feet. Huffman comes in. Brindamore's right there for the rebound, but John Van Beesbroek strong along the ice on that wraparound try by Kerry Huffman.
Brindamore, the Masterton nominee for Philadelphia, this time from the faceoff. The Panthers get control. Beat it up on the left wing, and that's Dvorak, who has moved up to play alongside Rob Niedermeyer and Scott Mellenby, two of the top offensive players for the Panthers during the regular season, who have struggled. Niedermeyer with just 2 goals in his last 23 games. Mellenby with 5 in his last 27. So Doug McLean trying to get his top offensive weapons going. Here's Gord Murphy on the ice. He's tied up and took a hit. Mellenby came back to help out. And across it comes Dvorak on the left wing. He can't get loose, and now Brindamore sending away Dan Quinn, a long shot. And Van Beesbroek had trouble with it and sits down on top of the puck.
Florida Panthers trying to get some offense from a line other than the Barnes line, and they put Dvorak. Skrudland and Huff will be the checkers on the night, and Dvorak has moved up to play on the left wing where Garpenlov was, and I'm sure they're trying to put a little pressure on Dvorak, give him some experience. He's a 19-year-old. He has not played very well offensively. They're trying to get him going. And a look at the defense. Gord Murphy and Jason Woolley will probably only be used on the power play. Gord Murphy, they're worried about his timing. There's an example. He gets a stick out late, tips it, and John Van Beesbroek had a lot of trouble with that. That almost went in. And Gord Murphy, the one thing you worry about after you come back from an injury, the timing. He had very poor timing on that long shot.
Otto and Barnes on the draw. It's won by the Flyers. That's Terrian moving up. His pass in front, broken up by Jovanovski around the boards, and hot Dave Lowry beating it across. That slides deep into the Philadelphia zone. Barnes went down, and the Flyers come up with it. Otto up to Bodine, who gloved it down, and then Terrian will roll it into the Florida zone. And Jovanovski, all Laws flipping it out to center. Barnes looking for it there, and it's cleared back by the Flyers. 5.5 minutes, first period. And no score between these two teams in game number 3. Puck centered, there's a shot. Off the stick of Lindros, who was in the slot. And Lowry now gets it out to center ice. Svoboda up to Dykhouse. Lindros, checked by Terry Carter. And Brian Skrudland. Ahead it goes to Mike Huff, and here's Jody Hull over the line. And it's called on the offside at the Philadelphia line.
Ed Jovanovski, he plays a lot for Coach Doug McLean. Although Doug McLean said he's not trying to match him up against Eric Lindros. Carter and Spela have played so well that it's the two pairs of defensemen. Jovanovski goes back, tries to clear it. Michael Renberg does a good job at the end of the shift. He digs it out, and then Eric Lindros had a great scoring chance. Jovanovski finishes his check against Renberg.
Brian Skrudland and Bob Corkum on that faceoff. Kartner rolls it into the Flyer zone. Florida wants to get a better forecheck tonight than they had in game number 2. And there's Jody Hull after it. He takes Huffman to the glass. And now Corkum picks it up for the Flyers. A shoot in. Going after it was Antoski. Cleared right back out by Kartner. And Clock goes rink wide. It was behind Corkum. And now Eric Desjardins. Into the center ice area. Knocked down by Spela. Here's Desjardins moving up. Over the red line, and he'll send it into the Florida zone, and it's a lot more like game 1 than game 2 so far, John.
I think it depends, again, who scores first. If Florida scores first, we'll see a repeat of game 1.
There's a shoot in, and Parker after it ahead of Quinn, and that means icing against Philadelphia. There's no score as we've just passed the 7-minute mark of the first period at the Miami Arena.
I think Ford has had its best successes when we've gone in our own direction. This is why we've given the Canadian car buyer a choice between the Taurus sedan or wagon at the same very affordable price. So they can choose the Taurus that meets their individual needs. Sedan or wagon. It's an original idea. It's a good idea.
Redesigned, re-engineered, reinvented the 1996 Ford Taurus.
When it comes to broadleaf weed control, nothing performs like Refine Extra. Refine Extra is easy to handle. It's completely crop safe. And it handles all your broadleaf problems in oats, barley, and wheat, including wild buckwheat. And top growth control with Canada Thistle. Refine Extra. A knock-'em-dead performance nothing can match.
First goal of the evening is at Madison Square Garden, New York. By the way, Ken Reggett's in net, but the funny story is Ulf Samuelsson scored that goal. Thomas Sandstrom banked it off Ulf's ear and in behind Mike Richter at the other end, making 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Strange goal to start things off here, and they have said there'll be some ugly goals in this series. Still scoreless first period. That's Niedermeyer taking it away from Terry, and around the boards it goes. Kept in by Florida as Niedermeyer continues the forecheck against Samuelsson. Now Mellenby moves up, and it's Joel Otto for Philadelphia. Long shoot in and off the board. Bodine went after it. Tipped away from him. And in behind the Florida net. The shot's on goal. 7-1 in favor of Philadelphia. There's Svoboda. To Samuelsson. Cross ice pass. Bill Lindsay was there hounding Otto. And Gord Murphy turns. He's paired with Warner. Bill Lindsay across the ice. And here come the Panthers. Fitzgerald, a quick shot. And it was offside at the line. But Fitzgerald testing Hextall, and that's the first time he's really been tested in the game, even if the whistle had gone.
Jody Hull in quickly on the left side to force that play offside. The big line, Dale Howardchuk is back. His fourth time. He's had his nose broken, but he only missed about 2 shifts when that happened to him. Dan Quinn primarily used as a power play guy. And the defense stays exactly the same. Carl Dyko said he jumped up into the play on his goal when he saw the referee's arm go up. Delayed penalty, he jumped right into the crease, got the pass from Eric Lindros, put it away.
I asked Terry Murray if he'd like to see more of that from his defensemen, and he said no, they're defensemen. Kind of like the way he used to play the game, right?
That's right. In 8 seasons in the NHL, Terry Murray has 4 goals.
Here's Eric Lindros open, and Lindros moving in, firing it, and he blasted that one wide. Jody Hull chipped it to the line, kept in, and no, they're calling Ray Scapanello on the line, calling that offside. We're told that Michael Renberg has gone to the Flyer dressing room for repairs.
Eric Lindros got wide open down the right side and ended up taking a long shot on John Van Beesbroek. And now Lindros has missed 2 good scoring chances where he's just fired wide. Bill Lindsay does a good job coming back, but Lindros misses by about 1.5 feet on the short side.
And each time he's on the ice, he's hearing it from the fans. Howardchuk at center. Real scene even in the skate prior to the game as the fans were on him. There's a lot of signs in the building icing the call against Philadelphia. And he is not fazed by it one little bit.
I think it's a challenge. You can see he's disappointed. He fired that one wide. A good scoring chance. He's not going to have a lot of open ice here in Florida. Had that chance and missed by about 1.5 feet. Keith Acton consoled him.
Keith Acton, his old roommate.
Ice times in game 1. Eric Lindros, 24 minutes. 22 minutes in game 2. Ed Jovanovski, same sort of ice time, a little less in game 2. Eric spent more time in the penalty box in game 2 than he did in game 1.
We're 8.5 minutes into the first period of game number 3. And the Panthers win the draw. Jovanovski shot, and Hextall saw that one through the crowd and made the stop.
And there's a good example of the value of a Dave Lowry. Dave Lowry, after that faceoff, got lined up perfectly in front of Ron Hextall. The shot from Jovanovski comes through, goes right through Dave Lowry's leg. And that's why this is a difficult save, even though it's a little wrist shot from the blue line.
This is the line that has scored 3 of the 4 Florida goals in the series. Barnes with Shepard and Lowry. And Ray Shepard was a questionable starter for this game. He has a sore shoulder. And wasn't sure this morning with whether or not he'd be ready to go tonight. And Shepard is their most dangerous goal scorer. There's Laws getting worked over in front of the Florida bench by a couple of Flyers. Jovanovski pounds it off the boards and out to center ice. Harry Huffman up to Pat Balloon. Now out with Brindamore and Dan Quinn. Laws at center. Here's Barnes looking for Lowry on the left wing. Lowry with a 4-game point streak. Up cleared around the boards. And Barnes picks it up again at center ice. Here's Shepard off the skate of Jovanovski. The Panthers will make a change 9.5 minutes into this first period. Brett Warner behind his net. And Warner will skate it out. The former Saskatoon Blade. Nice pass ahead. Here's Dvorak. And he shot high. That's the best chance so far for Florida. The rookie Dvorak has it again. Strudlin battling against Klatt in the corner. It's cleared around, kept in by Warner. Off his back foot, knocked down in front. And the Flyers will take off with it. Klatt. That pass cut off by Dvorak. Ahead it goes to Strudlin. Strudlin's pass across to an open wing, and Philadelphia sends it ahead to Klatt. Now Corkum's on the move. Off Corkum, and Spela go to the glass. Kartner around the boards. Stepping up Svoboda, and he whipped that one in front of the net. Carl Dyko sends it down again. LeClaire behind the goal. He can't come up with it. And it's Kartner. Up ahead to Niedermeyer. Now Mellenby's on the move. Here's Scott Mellenby. Niedermeyer backhanded it. Looking for Mellenby, who was hauled down in front. And another penalty going against the Flyers as the Panthers offense comes to life.
You were on the phone a long time last night.
Who'd you call? Just for fun, who'd you call?
I called everybody.
Everybody here, everybody back home.
Everybody back home, I gave them a call. All right, you gotta go bankrupt on your phone bill. I hate to disappoint you guys, but you should see the deal I got.
Yeah, and only 3 numbers.
You know all numbers.
25% off all calls, anytime, anywhere. When you spend $25 a month, call 1-800-806-9999.
Can you call Hong Kong? I can call Hong Kong. Did you call Hong Kong? I called Hong Kong. Nice talking to you.
Peter Svoboda takes a good penalty on Scott Mellenby. Ends up holding him. Mellenby makes the play and then tries to head to the net. Peter Svoboda stays right with him. Here's the crisscross. Svoboda's beaten. Now he doesn't panic. Niedermeyer makes the good play back to Mellenby, but Svoboda has Mellenby tackled. Takes the penalty rather than giving up a good scoring chance. Radek Dvorak is sent in. Has a good chance, but tries to go too high on Ron Hextall. Tries to get too perfect.
Here's Mellenby now on the power play. Back to Woolley, in deep to Mellenby, who had 19 power play goals during the regular season. Murphy's shot is blocked and comes out to center. Boy, Radek Dvorak is really snake-bit. He has not scored in 28 games. His last goal was February 21st.
Here's an example of why you get a chance to go in and you try and get too fine. You tried to pick that top corner against Ron Hextall and missed.
A lot of talent, rookie, and they figure one goal might take all the pressure off. Here's Otto with a shoot-in on Van Beesbrook. And Woolley will set up the power play. 45 seconds gone in this second manpower advantage for the Panthers. Hextall around the boards. Nice toe save there by Spela to keep it in. Mellenby after it behind the net. He's taken out by Dykos, and it's cleared by Brindamore out to center. Now Woolley buying some time as fresh troops come on this power play. The pass for Dvorak was too far. Dvorak going after it. Desjardins around the boards. And out at center for Brindamore. He takes a look, finds Dykhouse on the move. Dykhouse handed it off. The pass for Brindamore failed to click, and the Panthers will turn. Here's Dvorak on the move again. It's spun back to Jovanovski. There's the shot. That hit Lowry in front of the net. At the points fail on, he gave it away. And it's Brindamore at center rolling it down into the Panther zone. And now down to a dozen seconds remaining in this Florida power play.
Joe Samuelson doing a good job in front of Ron Hextall. Knocked Lowry down. That's why Lowry was hit with that shot.
Spala's pass is knocked down at center. Now Jovanovski is Svoboda's back on the ice. Barnes nearly broke through. Chris Therrien for Philadelphia. And now it's Porkham sending it down the ice. Rhett Warrener after it. And that's an icing call against the Flyers, but they've killed 2 penalties here in a scoreless first period.
Introducing the new Pepsi Stuff catalog. Now, the more Pepsi you drink, the more great stuff you're going to get.
Sure beats the boss.
Presenting the awesome Yardman Lawn Tractor. With an automatic transmission, 17.5 horsepower industrial engine, it bags, mulches, and discharges grass, all for the price of much tamer tractors. Yardman Mowers and Tractors, made in Canada.
At MSG, that's Chris Tamer, who will fake the shot and pass to Mario Lemieux, who never misses from that angle. And they gave the earlier goal off Samuelson to Mario as well. So 66 has 2-6 in the playoffs. The Pens lead the Rangers 2-0. Christian John.
Dave Lowry in front of this Florida power play. Hammered by the defense, the Panthers have had 2 power plays, no shots on goal. And the reason why? They can't get it through. Shel Samuelson and Carl Dykhouse.
Panthers win a draw. Kartner's shot didn't get through. And now Howard Chuck turns. The Lindros line is back out there, and there's Lindros battling with Kartner, who holds him off. Svoboda back in behind the net. Howard Chuck digging for it against Warner. And Jody Hull sends it ahead and out to center ice. Hextall out to play it. There's Warner dumping it out to center, and now Hextall well out of the net again with Hull on him. Svoboda takes a hit, got it around the boards, and here's Dykhouse out to Howard Chuck. Off the boards, looking for Lindros. Warner rings the boards past Fitzgerald. Now 6:06 to go in the first period. It's a scoreless tie as Howard Chuck goes to the attack. Wrist shot right on. Fitzgerald the rebound, and he fakes that one off the boards down the ice. And a race for the puck. Desjardins will get there first, icing the call as we join Scott Russell.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. The Sporting News Hockey Executive of the Year, Panthers GM Brian Murray, excuse me, Brian. And I know you've continued to build this franchise because you want to make it a contender in a hurry. What's been your focus?
Well, we tried to build a defense, number one. We felt that we get some mobility back there and young players back there, the future would be bright.
I know you were concerned in game number 2 that Eric Lindros ran amok. What did you do in order to make the officials aware that he can't do that?
Well, I talked to the league. I talked to Brian Burke in particular, and all we ask for is a standard, and we don't care what the standard is. As long as we're allowed to do the same as he was allowed to do, we'll be fine.
Brian, thanks a lot and good luck.
Thanks, John.
Guys.
Face off in the Florida zone, and that one bounced up and hit Jovanovski. And now Dvorak on the move again. He's back with Strudlin and Huff now. Desjardins broke it up and flipped it over the glass out of play.
Right from the face-off there, Jovanovski takes one. He deflected himself. His helmet came off, but it looks like he's going to be all right. Jovanovski slashed by Eric Lindros in game 2, went down. It was one of those, he said he had the tingling in his leg, lost the feeling for a second, and was all right as he headed to the box and had some words with Eric Lindros after that one.
Long series. There'll be opportunities to...
There's that Jovanovski, and it's off his own stick, and fortunately for him, it catches the front of his helmet, knocks the helmet off, and it doesn't cut him.
Skrudland and Brindamore. Brindamore took a high stick right from the face-off, and Skrudland likely to go off.
And now, how is this one going to be called? Bill McCreary went over to ask Ray Scampanello what happened. Brindamore's checking his teeth. Right from the face-off. They've had problems on face-offs, and there's Skrudland's stick. Doesn't even get down anywhere near the puck. It's right up off Brindamore's stick. Catches Brindamore in the teeth. Now Doug McLean is shaking his head. It's a 4-minute penalty. And that's, I think, the call. Bill McCreary made the call. Skrudland's still in the game. He could have gotten the 5-minute major for high sticking and been thrown out, but he gets the 4 minutes. It was an accidental one right off a face-off. Up Brindamore's stick, right into his mouth.
Now, the Panthers were most upset about the high stick of Lindros near the end of game number 2. They felt had a penalty been called on that high stick, with the goalie out, they would have had a 2-man advantage going for the winning goal, but the officials looked at the tape sent in by the Panthers and felt that Lindros had been tugged or at least interfered with, and it might have caused the stick to come up.
That's the party line. I still think it should have been called a 4-minute penalty. The 4-minute one on Stu Barnes in game 2 that Lindros got away with. You're supposed to have control of your stick. Brian Skrudland on the faceoff, he was just trying to lift Brindamore's stick, missed, came up, hit him in the mouth, and he gets the 4-minute minor.
So the Flyers with their first opportunity of the game on the power play. And Lindros is out there. Howard Chuck, LeClaire, Eric Desjardins, and Kerry Huffman to start. And Huffman into the Florida zone. Gives it to LeClaire, who drops it back. In deep it goes for Howard Chuck. Here's LeClaire looking for Lindros at the side of the net, and Fitzgerald picks up the loose puck and sends it down the ice. Eric Desjardins. Terry Murray says he's been their best defenseman in this series. Firing it in. LeClaire lets it go for Huffman. Now LeClaire in the corner gets it loose. Howard Chuck behind the net. Lindros trying to feed it back. Kirchner broke it up. And out come the Panthers. Huffman Hull. Over the line. Jody Hull testing Hextall. Now Lindros shooting around the boards and going after it. Here's Eric Lindros storming into the Florida zone. Fans booing him as he does. Feeds it back, and Svoboda couldn't keep it in. And now the pass goes down into the zone, and they're calling it on an offside as Lindros touched it inside the Florida zone.
Paul Laws made a good play on Eric Lindros as Lindros went wide, tried to cut to the net. Laws just reached out, pushed his elbow. Lindros had to take it in behind the net. There's the offside, the little hit by Mike Huff. Chop. Eric Lindros is looking over to Bill McCreary. That wasn't much of a slash from Mike Huff. The whistle on the offside, the hit after the whistle, and the little tap by Mike Huff as he's going to the bench.
So the Flyers 1 for 8 in this series. There's Dykhouse, who scored the first goal for Philadelphia in game 2. Quinn sends it across the balloon, back to Quinn, shooting right on. Otto was in front of the net, now he's after the puck. Warner up the boards, and Stu Barnes can't get it by Svoboda the first time, does the second. .2:20 remaining in Skrudland's double minor. Back in comes Falloon, dropping it. Svoboda checked before he got a shot away. He'll get it back again. There's the shot. Rebound. Otto. Jet. They score. Dan Quinn, a power play goal.
And Tom Fitzgerald is floating out by the blue line. He knows he should have had that puck out. He made a great play to strip Peter Svoboda of the puck. Now he has a chance to spin and get it out, but he doesn't. It's kept in. Svoboda has a second try. Tees it up. John Van Beesbroek on the low shot can't control it. Joel Otto's there, and Dan Quinn. Good goal scorer, power play specialist when he broke into the league. There's Joel Otto digging, and the puck squirts out to Dan Quinn. He's right there. No chance for John Van Beesbroek.
First goal of the playoffs, and here's LeClaire coming in, and a shot right on Van Beesbroek. And another Florida Panther is down.
And that was on the clearing attempt. Bill Lindsay is down. And that goal was scored just before the first penalty to Brian Skrudland was over. And so Skrudland is still in the penalty box, and now Bill Lindsay heads off to be attended to.
Oh, we've got scoring at Madison Square Garden. Here's Ron.
Right, Chris, just bring you up to date. There's a 3-0 goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Thomas Sandstrom with a beauty in the slot from Yager and Wilkinson. And the Pennsylvania teams have owned the road tonight.
Wow, that'll silence the Ranger faithful.
Now, do you put Glenn Healy in that game? That's Brian Hayward sitting in the atrium. I haven't seen how the play has been going. We just see the highlights. Here's Bill Lindsay getting hit with the clearing. Terry Carkner just turns and tries to clear it, and he wires it right off Bill Lindsay's forehead. Lindsay's down, gone to the dressing room.
Boy, it's been a tough start. Brindamore off, Lindsay, Renberg. And 3.5 minutes to go here in the first period. It's a 1-0 Philadelphia lead on Dan Quinn's first of the playoffs. Otto and Svoboda get the assists. And the Flyers remain on the power play, the second half of the double minor to Skrudland.
They scored with 7 seconds left in that first penalty. And Skrudland away, 1:27 left in his second.
Talked about Quinn being a power play specialist. He has 3 points in the playoffs, all have come on the power play. Here's Howard Judge. Feeding the point. The shot in, wide of the net, bouncing up onto the mesh, front down, and they score! Eric Lindros at the side of the net, found the corner, and the Flyers cash in on both ends of the double minor to lead 2-0.
And again, the Flyers are able to stand in front of John Van Beesbroek and dig rebounds out. The first power play goal scored when Joel Otto dug out a rebound. This time, John LeClaire gets in. Long shot, just directed at the net. Now LeClaire gets beside the net, and he's digging, digs the rebound out. John Van Beesbroek poked at it, poked it right to Eric Lindros, and in it goes.
So a couple of power play goals, 54 seconds apart, late in this first period. We've got an injury update from Scott Russell. Scott?
Well, thanks very much, Chris. I was just down at the Flyer locker room. Rod Brindamore has been cut on the lip, as you know. They're stitching him up right now. Hopefully he'll be back. And Michael Renberg had most of his equipment off. Looks like a recurrence of his abdominal problems. They say they're just giving him a little bit of rest, and they expect him to be back for the second period. So that's the story on the Flyers, Chris.
Those abdominal injuries never seem to heal. They take months and months, and they were worried about Michael Renberg. They wanted him even at 80% to play, but sometimes this will happen where you get a recurrence and you just can't perform.
The original injury took place here in January.
Of the first period, Lindros from LeClaire and Desjardins on the power play.
Now there's the puck, just beats John Van Beesbroek. Van Beesbroek poked the puck away. After John LeClaire tried to wrap it around, Van Beesbroek poked it out. He poked it right to Eric Lindros. And when Lindros shot it, in it goes.
Lindros from LeClaire and Desjardins, 17-13 the time of the second Flyer goal.
And John's save percentage is going to be up there again. The shots on goal now are 15-2. And that's the one thing the Florida Panthers held this Flyer team. 18 shots total in game one.
Yes,
have the rink attendants out, just cleaning up some of the debris thrown on the ice after that second Philadelphia goal. Well, the Panthers won their first 3 games here and really got the jump on Boston in their home games in the first round. And as you've mentioned, 15-2 the shots, the 2 power play goals, and it's been all Flyers. Panthers ineffective when they had the first 2 power plays of the game, and Philadelphia cashing their opportunity.
Joel Otto has been a power play specialist of sorts for Terry Murray. He gets out, plants him in front of the net, and as we saw, Otto is there for rebounds, tip-in tries. Been very effective on the power play in the playoffs this year.
Always has the ability to crank it that extra notch at playoff time. His 96th playoff game tonight was a member of that 89 Calgary Flames Stanley Cup team. And now we're ready to resume action. And a costly high sticking penalty to Brian Strudlin off that faceoff has led to 2 Philadelphia power play goals. Icing the call as Laws.
Now we had a little pushing and shoving. There's going to be a penalty call. Bill McCreary had the arm up.
Many kids growing up can be tough. That's why Nike and the NHL are taking hockey.
There's that contact on an icing play, and Podine took Laws into the glass after the whistle. To go in the first period. 2-0 Flyers on the strength of power play goals by Dan Quinn and Eric Lindros in Philadelphia as their third manpower advantage of the game. There they have Lindros, Leclerc, and Howard-Chuck up front. Desjardins and Huffman on the points. Pass clear through, and Leclerc with the backhand off the side of the net. He'll feed it back to Huffman. Fitzgerald on Huffman. Lindros backhanding behind the goal. Howard-Chuck is there. Centers for Desjardins. The shot. And Van Beesbrook got a pad on that. Howard-Chuck again from the side. Desjardins. Jody Hull without a stick. Lindros. Howard-Chuck. Finds Huffman. There's the shot. Leclerc's in front. Can't find it. Howard-Chuck shot. And Van Beesbrook with a big stop as Howard-Chuck had him down and seemingly out.
At a key time in this game, Jody Hull with
face off, and the Flyers get control. And it comes out to center. Strudlin out now with Huff as the penalty killers for Florida. First minute of the power play is gone. Dykehouse drops it off, and Otto has to come back to get it. Now Peter Svoboda moves it through center. Ahead off the stick of Falloon. He goes after it again. And Pat Falloon to Svoboda. Rings the board. Quinn looking for it against Paul Laws. Falloon moves up. Couldn't get it out of there, and Huff will send it down the ice. Now the Panthers changing their penalty killers with under a half-minute remaining. Van Beesbrook brings the glass and hit Quinn. Less than a minute to go in period number 1. In behind the net is Falloon. He's tied up by Karkner. Gord Murphy goes after it. And Murphy sends it all the way down. Here's Desjardins. As Jovanovski returns to the ice. And Beesbrook leaving it for Karkner with a half-minute remaining in the first period. Love down at the point. That's Podine bouncing it in there off Murphy. Trent Platt looking for it. Comes towards the point and intercepted by Hull, who rolls it down the ice. And back to get it is Corkum to get an icing call with 13.4 seconds to go.
Florida Panthers trying to get something going. Eric Lindros dominating game 2, and here in game 3, the Flyers have been able to set the tone, and the Panthers trying to draw some energy from their hate for Eric Lindros and how he played in game 2. The Panthers await Lindros. They wanted to set the tone in this game. I don't know which one I like best of the headline writers quotes in all the papers.
We asked Eric, and he wasn't really partial to any of them. There have been some even more creative signs here in the building, but he has really, along with his teammates, deflated this crowd that was really revved up for Game 3.
I kind of like the line, like most of America's most wanted coming through South Florida. Eric Lindros will arrive with the Flyers.
Well, that will do it for period number 1, and it was a dandy for the visiting Flyers.
Florida Panthers had the first 2 power plays of the period, had no shots on goal, no chances. The Philadelphia Flyers, their first 2 power plays, the Brian Skrudland double minor, they scored on both of them and ended up with 17 shots on goal.
Yep, the goals came 54 seconds apart. Dan Quinn from Otto and Svoboda, Eric Lindros from John LeClaire, and Eric Desjardins. And so after 20 minutes of play at the Miami Arena, it's the Flyers 2, the Panthers no score. Miami Arena, just moments ago, Scott was outside the Florida dressing room.
Ray Shepard leads the Florida Panthers in points these playoffs with 10, but none tonight. Ray, tough first period for your team.
Yeah, we definitely come out real flat, and we had a power play early, and we didn't generate anything. And you know, they gained momentum. They got a power play, and they cashed in a couple times. And you know, we better get our act together, or else you know, they're going to blow us out of here.
I know you're hurting a little bit. Tell us about it and what you can do about it.
Well, basically, it's my shoulder's a little banged up. It was an injury that happened earlier this year, and it just come back for the series. And all you can do is just rest it and ice it and do as much as you can, and you know, hopefully you know, it'll hold up.
On a positive note, I guess you're pretty happy to be in Florida.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. It's a situation, you know, where Brian Murray and Doug McLean, they both knew me when I was in Detroit, and you know, situation we got along real well together, and you know, hopefully we'll continue to do so. And I'm glad being a Panther.
Pride of Pembroke, Ontario, and they'll need him in the second and third period to get back in this one against the Flyers. 2-0 Philadelphia, and they totally dominated the first period. Shots on goal, 17-2. LeClaire tied up. Here's Howardchuk after it. It's taken away by Robert Svela. And the former Calgary draft choice to the line, kept in by Lindros. And now Kirkner gets it out at center ice. Bill Lindsay after the puck. You saw Lindsay go off in the first period for repairs after taking a puck in the face. Nice sliding stop there by Peter Svoboda because Lindsay was open in front of the net. And here comes Lindros turning around, shooting it in on Van Beesbroek. And the Panthers clear it down the ice. Dvorak racing after it. Samuelson will get there first. And icing the call. Also in the first intermission, Scott Russell talked with Flyer assistant Keith Acton.
Keith, you overwhelmed them on the score sheet with 2 goals and shots, 17-2. What was the game plan at the outset in Miami?
Well, special teams was a big part of that period, and it will be in any playoff game. From a technical standpoint, one thing we wanted to do, we knew they would forecheck very hard with 2 guys, and we wanted to use some D-to-D reverses, and we felt that misdirection would maybe buy us some time and give us an opportunity to make a clean pass and come out of our own end. The other thing is, above and beyond that, and probably most important, is the fact that we're playing with the same intensity and conviction as we did in Game 2.
Thanks a lot, Keith. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Eric Lindros at the end of a long shift doesn't try and challenge Paul Laws, just has a little spinorama high, and that's a disciplined play. In Game 1 of this series, they didn't do that. They played shifts that were about 1:30 and even some 2 minutes long. And Terry Murray talked about that. But here tonight, good short shifts. And there's an example. Eric Lindros, 55 seconds, end of a long shift. Dump it in on a long shot, go to the bench.
Flyers win this face-off. Therrien, that shot didn't get through. Odin takes his man out. Renberg's back on the ice for Philadelphia. Number 19, Michael Renberg, who went off in that first period. Paul Laws hounded as he dumped it around. Therrien hops up for Philadelphia, tries to feed it in the slot, and Mellenby will take control for the Florida Panthers. To Niedermeyer. Dvorak's on left wing. Over the line. He'll send it into the corner. And Therrien, the Ottawa native, gets it back out to center ice. Following up is Joel Otto. And he'll flip it into the Florida zone. Flyers making another change as Mellenby takes it on right wing. Looking across the ice for Dvorak. That'll slide in on Mellenby. Clear to the line, and away goes Dan Quinn, who scored the first goal in this game. Quinn over the line with Falloon. Desjardins driving for the net, and he rolled it wide. Brindamore almost stole it from Jovanovski. And a Breakaway pass for Dvorak was too far, icing the call as we head back to the broadcast center for another update. Ron?
Thanks a lot, Chris. In New York, the Rangers do what they had to, and that's score early in the second period. Shane Churla from Kevin Lowe at 3:02, second of the postseason. And from the same spot almost, it's Niklas Sundstrom from Lidster and Momesso. 2 goals, 34 seconds apart. Suddenly, it's 3-2.
And that's the kind of flurry the home team needs here in Florida tonight after those power play goals back-to-back by Philadelphia. Quinn and Lindros staking them to a 2-0 lead, and the shots would indicate it could have been worse for Florida after 20 minutes. 17-2, the shots on goal. There's Shepard ahead at center ice. Now it's Lowry into the Flyers zone on the backhand. Short side covered by Hextall. Comes back to the point. Gord Murphy's shot. That was knocked down, and there's Rod Brind'Amour also back. So the 3 injured players from period 1 all have seen action in the first 2.5 minutes of the second period.
All stitched up, except Michael Renberg. The other players cut, stitched up, back for the second period.
Here's Desjardins off the stick of Quinn down the ice. And Spillett goes back to get it. He's been averaging around 25 minutes a game in this series. Howard just broke up the play. Pass for Leclerc just missed. And now at center ice, the Panthers will turn with it. The captain, Brian Skrudlin, over the line, drops it. Dvorak's shot off a skate wide. Kartner's moved up. There's Dvorak behind the net, but Svoboda broke it up. Kartner keeping it in at the left point. Brian Skrudlin turning away from Dykhouse and bouncing it in on Ron Hextall, who will cover up for a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
In the wind and the rain, I found myself. Oh, I was never really lost. It took me this long to realize I was looking the wrong way. Unfortunately, our eyes look out at the world, not in at ourselves. So even though at this time I find myself on this road, or at least as many roads as there are people, and through the wind and the rain, the thunder roars.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet Dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it.
For excellence in journalism, make it 24 hours. We cover the stories that are important to you with first-rate journalists and accurate reporting, providing you with the quality and in-depth coverage you deserve in a newscast. Join me weeknights at 6 and make it your news.
Eric Lindros, 10 shifts, 724, 2 shots on goal. 3 power plays in the first period for Philadelphia. They cashed in on 2. Ed Jovanovski had one of those penalties, his total down. And Stu Barnes says Doug McLean is trying to find a line to get going and get something going for the Florida Panthers.
Well, 6 Panthers did not register a shot on goal. 6 Panther forwards didn't register a shot on goal in game number 2. And Jody Hull, the lone forward, with a shot in that first period of play. Interesting to note that 6 shots on goal for the Lindros line in that first period, but they also had 3 shots by Brind'Amour, 3 by Quinn, so a little bit of offensive support for the big guns of Philadelphia.
Golotto with a couple.
Offside called at the Florida line.
Much better broadcast position here at the Miami Arena than in Philadelphia, but we can't hear any of the whistles. So we're judging the play by the reaction of the players and the linesmen on the ice.
Oh, it's the year of the rat in Florida. And we've seen a few on the ice. It all started when Scott Mellenby saw one in the Panther dressing room.
Before the very first game, and these superstitious hockey players, John Van Beesbroek, and Van Beesbroek spotted the rat. Scott Mellenby fired it against the wall, killed the rat, scored a couple of goals that night, and the superstition began.
Didn't he get a rat trick that night?
There's a rat hat on that guy.
There's Warner dumping it into the corner. Puck cleared up the boards. Warner in front, and that was waved. All right, I thought that was outside the line as Fitzgerald took a quick shot. Nice play by Warner to keep it in.
There was another example like the first period where they get their best scoring chance and miss the net.
Now Warner takes a look off the boards. Podine was there. Now Hull will turn. Podine is there again. And I know Keith Acton prior to the game was telling us how impressed they've been with the work of Sean Podine, one of the unheralded stars of the Flyers. Collision at center ice as Terrien was knocked down by Fitzgerald. Dan Quinn in the Philadelphia zone up to Brind'Amour. Stopped by Gord Murphy. There's Mellanby. Ahead to Dvorak with Rob Niedermeyer. Dvorak trying to roll it through, and Niedermeyer was tied up by Shel Samuelson. Brind'Amour back the other way with Dan Quinn through center. Brind'Amour open, and Dvorak came back and made the defensive play. Quinn will send it into the Florida zone. Brind'Amour will set up the forecheck. Gord Murphy, who was the most consistent defenseman for Florida during the 82-game regular season, hurt near the end of the year. Back in the lineup tonight. Here's Mellanby giving it to Niedermeyer. The shot by Spela changed direction in front. Dvorak at the side of the net, trying to center it. Desjardins checked him. Desjardins can't get away from Niedermeyer. Dvorak trying to come out of the corner. Desjardins back on the Panther attacker. Niedermeyer trying to get loose, and Quinn swept it off his stick down the ice. And Beesbrook plays it ahead to Spela, rolling it back in, looking for Barnes. And it's intercepted by Dykhouse. John LeClair going after it deep in the Florida zone, broken up by Kartner. Turns away from Lindros. Goes rink wide. Lowry couldn't handle the bouncing puck. Svoboda pushes it ahead. Here's LeClair with open Howardchuk whipping the shot. And Van Beesbrook with the save. Now Lowry along the boards. Hit McCreary with one clearing attempt. Now gets it out.
Good scoring chance for Dale Howardchuk, but John Van Beesbrook had lots of time to react, lots of time to get into position.
Dykhouse taken to the boards by Barnes. Up the boards for LeClair. Across to Howardchuk. Over the red line, shoots it in, and Philadelphia making another quick change. 6:40 gone, second period, still 2-0 Flyers. Looks like the Panthers with a little more jump in this period. Barnes over the line, and that is offside. And Jovanovski will argue the call.
And a little pushing and shoving. Eric Lindros and Paul Laws in behind the play. Howardchuk and LeClair made the quick change, and Lindros in forechecking. Took Laws down. Philadelphia has really limited the Florida Panthers' chances. They've really done a good job. Their defenseman, Shel Samuelson, takes Rob Niedermeyer, takes the stick away. That pass goes harmlessly wide. The Panthers had some pressure, but it was all on the outside. And then the Philly came down and had a good chance on a 2-on-1.
Shots are even at 2 apiece in the second period, but 19-4 on the night in favor of Philadelphia. Jovanovski moving up, feeds it back. Strudlin covering the point. His shot in behind the net. Huff trying to center it. Bob Corkum for the Flyers, ahead for Antoski, and that rolls into the Florida zone. Antoski speeds after it, and the shot just went wide. Good hustle by Sean Antoski, the former Vancouver Canuck. Laws ahead to Jovanovski and Hull. Here's Jody Hull on the right side to Strudlin, centering it, and Huff just missed tipping it by Hextall. It's played off the boards and kept in by Florida. Now Corkum to the line. Paul Laws there, scores!
The long shot by Paul Laws, and I think maybe Brian Strudlin tipped this one in front of Ron Hextall. Strudlin was providing the screen, and Laws did the right thing. It's not how hard you get it by that first guy. It was just a little snapshot from the blue line.
A screen in front, and I think Brian Skrudland might have tipped it by Ron Hextall. And this guy's not going to throw his rat hat on the ice. Kept in, and Paul Laus takes the shot from the blue line. Corkum can't get it out. Laus just snaps it. And I think that hit Brian Skrudland in front and goes through Ron Hextall. Ron Hextall was complaining. I think he's saying that Brian Skrudland directed this one in with his leg. Corkum with a little backhand clear. That's no good. Laus shoots it. And it goes off somebody in front. Hextall saying, he's pointing to Brian Skrudland saying, well, he directed it in. And now we're going upstairs. Bill McCreary is on the phone. Now, do they get all the rats back if they disallow this goal?
It just rained rodents. Well, Bill McCreary pointed to center ice, and I don't know if they're taking another look or not.
They went upstairs. Brian Skrudland was in front. Here's another look from Ron Hextall's view. Paul Laus lets it go. A little shot. And Skrudland's in front, but that might have hit Chris Therien. Chris Therien was there with Skrudland, and it hits somebody in front and goes through Ron Hextall. And they're giving the goal to Paul Laus, so I assume that hit Chris Therien.
Well, he had just 3 goals during the regular season. He has his second of the playoffs. One of those goals, by the way, was as a right winger.
Here's the little shot by Paul Laus, and it hits Chris Therien in front. Ron Hextall thought it hit Brian Skrudland, and he was the one that campaigned for Bill McCreary to go upstairs.
And when Doug McLean told us today he was going with 7 defensemen, we wondered if we'd see Laus up on right wing. He even scored a goal against Patrick Waugh. He insists he went top shelf on that one. We haven't seen the tape.
No. There, I'm sure he's going to say by the end of this game what a pretty goal that was.
But Doug McLean will take it any way he can get it. And he says he won't be using any of his defensemen up front. But the Panthers are back in it on the unassisted goal by Laus. Here's Niedermeyer in. And he was looking for Mellenby loose on the right side. Desjardins at the side of the net. Fans are back in it in Miami. Laus steps up. Flyers trying to clear it. That is Desjardins, and Laus will keep it in. Niedermeyer along the boards. Mellenby tried at 3, and Otto gets rid of it and down the ice.
Harry Murray had his 4th line on for that goal. Sean Antoski and Bob Conklin both had chances to clear the zones, didn't, and it ended up in their net.
7:34 was the time of the goal for Florida. Scored by Paul Laus. Now Jason Woolley's on the ice. Here's Woolley ahead to Mellenby at the Flyer line. You can hear the fans getting on Ron Hextall, or at least trying to get on him. And Brind'Amour rolling it out to center. Dan Quinn is there. Quinn plays it ahead. Therrien's on the move. He'll go after it. Hauled down by Gord Murphy. Falloon is there. Now Brind'Amour in the corner. He'll take a look back to Falloon. Dan Quinn, side of the net. Falloon trying to quickly get it in front. And Van Beesbrook pounces on it. 2 seconds shy of the 9-minute mark in the second period.
History teaches primordial perspiration shouldn't mess with one's style. Thus, Right Guard, Pure Power, Pure Gel, Antiperspirant. It's clear without flaky white stuff. Right Guard, Clear Gel. Anything less would be uncivilized.
The hardest working person I know? It's gotta be my mom.
Luckily, Canadian Tire's Mother's Day sale makes it easy to save on the gifts she deserves.
Just look at these prices. Canadian Tire has all the names Mom wants.
At prices I love. I've got to get to Canadian Tire this week.
For Mom.
Mom always taught me the value of $1.
Everyday low prices, that's good.
Everyday low prices and Canadian Tire's Mother's Day sale?
That's better.
Canadian Tire. Everyday low prices made better.
Politics.
If you want a different perspective, you've come to the right place.
Join Nancy Wilson and Don Newman.
It's about what matters to Canadians.
Politics, weekdays at 4 on CBC News World.
Well, there's the goal scorer, a Pittsburgh draft choice, Paul Laws, the native of Beamsville and the former Niagara Falls junior.
We've seen the Bill Lindsay goal from the win, the Florida Panthers clinching win against Boston, but in that game, Paul Laws had a goal.
And this is a big one here because it was a very quiet building after the first period. The fans right back in it now. Philadelphia with a 2-1 lead. There's Dykhouse losing it, knocked down by Fitzgerald. Puck ahead for Howard-Chuck. Here's Dale Howard-Chuck on the move, checked by Kartner. John LeClair's in deep. He's rubbed off the puck. Lindros tried to get it back to LeClair, and the Panthers break out. Jody Hull, the former Peterborough Pete, bouncing it in. Hextall out of the net. Dykhouse taken to the boards by Hull. And you can see the Panthers playing with a little more exuberance in this second period now. Lindros along the boards, and Hull took a run at him. Peter Svoboda slowly out to center. That's knocked down, and Robert Spela turns it back. Fitzgerald's onside. Here's Tom Fitzgerald rolling it into the corner. Bill Lindsay was hit, and now Howard-Chuck ahead to Lindros, and he gets rid of it down the ice. We passed the 10-minute mark of this second period. A 2-1 Flyer lead as we join Scott.
Thanks very much, Chris. Jimmy Johnson, head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and you've only been to the Panthers game 2 times. How about your impressions tonight in the playoffs?
Well, I like what I see right now. We're just not getting enough shots at the goal. We've had that penalty for 4 minutes, and they got the 2-0 lead. That was a problem there, but we're coming back.
Said like an old pro, Jimmy, you know, there's so much excitement in sports in South Florida. Are you personally glad to be back?
Yeah, I mean, this is my home. This is where I live, and this is where I'll always live. It's a great place. I would never want to be anywhere else.
Jimmy, nice to see we have another hockey fan. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Guys?
Well, what do you think? I mentioned that hair pull. Doug McLean, the good news, he finished ahead of Jimmy, but behind Pat Riley.
And Rennie Latchman.
It's a pretty high-profile bunch in this town. Here's Pat Falloon on a clear-cut break in. Van Beesbrook down to make the stop. That's a big save by Van Beesbrook to keep it a 1-goal game back from the Panthers. Here's Ray Shepard shooting. Lowry spins, and Hextall will stop as they have chances at either end. And Dan Quinn just rolls it down the ice. Hextall and Van Beesbrook take center stage.
Jason Woolley made a good play to rush Pat Falloon. Falloon had one option, the quick move to the backhand, and John Van Beesbrook read it well to make the save.
Van Beesbrook around the boards. There's Mike Hupp. Up ahead to look out. Stu Barnes was hit by Dan Quinn. Rolled in by Samuelson. That's an offside against Philadelphia as they start to go end-to-end. Second period.
Put whatever you want on the side, as long as you have these 3 letters on the front. Sierra. 365 days a year.
Wait a minute. Why is he paying less for the same sweater?
Oh, sir, he's paying with his Royal Bank Visa Classic 2 card.
Classic 2?
Introducing the new Royal Bank Visa Classic 2 card. You get buying power you've never had before with instant discounts of up to 25% at Classic 2 partner stores.
I must have one.
You can also earn points for gift certificates, get great travel prices, and a whole lot more.
Must have one.
The new Royal Bank Visa Classic 2. More power to you.
I must have one.
Closed captioning of tonight's game is provided by UAP Napa Auto Parts.
The long alley-oop pass to Pat Falloon. Jason Woolley is trapped, but he doesn't give up. He keeps the legs moving. Pat Falloon looks up. Van Beesbrook well out. And Falloon with a little quick backhand try. And there's Dave Lowry. The spinorama. It goes off Eric Desjardins, but again, Ron Hextall positioning. Takes it off the chest to make the save.
Here comes Niedermeyer, stopped at the Philadelphia line. 8:40 remaining in the second period. It's a 2-1 Philadelphia lead as Terrien takes the shot. And the rebound goes to Florida. Paul Laws, the goal scorer for the Panthers, around the board. Dvorak tipped it out. Niedermeyer just failed to catch up with it. And now Dvorak will send it in. Mellenby on the forecheck against Samuelson, who got it ahead. Renberg can't get it out, kept in by Dvorak. He's been dangerous tonight. The backhand hit Niedermeyer. Hextall to the line, kept in by Laws. Around the boards it goes, and there's Dvorak again in the corner. He's hit by Terrien. Tries to come off the boards. Niedermeyer tied up. Terrien following Dvorak, and Hextall whipped the pass. Pass by Jovanovski down the ice. All Laws to center. Here's the shoot in. Hull's trying to go after it. He was tied up by Corkum, and Laws hopping into the Panther bench to make sure they're not called for too many men. Strudlin moving through center, right wing to Hull, and that pass broken up. Platt starts back with Corkum, and here's Lindros cutting in. Eric Lindros scores! No, offside the call. Offside the call, and I'm not sure if Eric heard it. We didn't hear the call.
Ed Shakti made the call, and Bill McCreary tried to help him out. John Van Beesbroek just stood up on this one-hander by Eric Lindros. He heard the whistle on the outside. Eric Lindros is double shifting now. He's taking Sean Antosti's spot. And there's Bill McCreary. He's talking things over with JVB. There's the whistle well before Eric Lindros let that little one-hand backhand go. And you can tell John Van Beesbroek just stood up, opened the legs, and in it went.
So Corkum was in ahead of the play. As the puck rolls to center. 7:15 to go in this second period. Eric Lindros being double shifted out with Corkum and Platt. Spela gloving it down. Got it to center. Strudlin. Up ahead. Here's Mike Huff. Huff at the side of the net. Cleared by Svoboda. Platt up the wing. Bodied by Hull. Corkum picks it up. They hit the line. That's onside. Corkum quick shot. And Van Beesbroek with the save. And he'll cover up. As they strum in front of the Florida netminder. Shots are 22-8, and the Flyers with a 1-goal lead.
As one goes forth to unearth new treasures, one mustn't let primordial perspiration mess with one's style. Consider this discovery. Right guard, pure power, clear gel, antiperspirant. An astoundingly clear gel. Thus, it goes on clear without any flaky white stuff. After all, when it comes to protection, one shouldn't mess around. Right guard, clear gel. Anything less would be uncivilized.
From the face-off in the Florida zone, Gord Murphy clears it around the boards. Now Rhett Warner to Stu Barnes. Barnes, Dave Lowry, Ray Shepard for Florida as they clear it into the Philadelphia zone. Stu Barnes, quick shot. That one seemed to surprise Hextall on the short side. Warner at center. Off the board, Barnes is there. Then he'll roll it back into the Flyer zone. Not Brindamore at center. Now Barnes is after it again. And balloon turn. There's Murphy pushing it ahead, and Ray Shepard will circle. Shepard, nice pass to Barnes, and here come the Panthers. Barnes over the line. His pass intercepted by Quinn, and Pat Balloon starts back with Brindamore. Eric Desjardins moving up on the rush, and it's broken up. And the Panthers will counterattack. Shepard at the line, but they're at the end of a shift. He'll hang on to it, send it cross ice, and Bill Lindsay puts it in front. Hextall swept it away. Fitzgerald stepped into Desjardins, and Fitzgerald is played an aggressive game at center ice for Florida tonight. That's an icing call against Philadelphia. 5:16 remaining in this second period. Tomorrow night will be game 3. The St. Louis Blues will entertain the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit up 2-0 in that series. Bob Cole, Harry Neal, Scott Oak are in St. Louis getting ready for that game. You'll see beginning at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and we'll be back here Thursday at the Miami Arena for game number 4 of the Flyers and the Panthers.
Bill McCreary is now waving some Panthers off. He had his hand up. Doug MacLean doesn't like that. Home team gets the last change, but they have to make that change before the referee gets his arm up. McCreary had the arm up, and MacLean couldn't make that last change.
Fitzgerald and Otto getting ready to face it off, and we've got a battle going on over against the boards between Lindsay and Dykhouse, and Bill McCreary steps over there.
Very even period. Shots on goal 7-5 in favor of the Panthers here in the second period, and a complete turnaround. This is the Florida hockey. It was Philadelphia Flyer hockey in the first period.
Little turf war going on there between Lindsay and Dykhouse, and the Flyers control the faceoff. Dykhouse to partners Svoboda, and the Flyers just send it down the ice, and they'll have to do it all over again in the Philadelphia zone.
There's Terry Murray. He has Joel Otto out for this defensive faceoff, and now Rod Brindamore comes out with the Lindros line. Lindros and Hawerchuk.
He was telling us that he has 9 different sets of criteria he rates the Flyers on in each game, goals that they set for each game. They were at 65% in the first game in attaining their goals. He said they were just about 8 of 9 in that department in game number 2.
And the one that was lacking, you would think, would be finish around the net. 47 shots and only 3 goals.
Now the Flyers get it out. Lindros is back on the ice, and he tears into the Panthers zone. Bumped into Kartner. Hawerchuk follows up. There's Lindros trying to center it. Hawerchuk trips the shot off the logo as Van Beesbroek makes another key stop in this second period. Now that his team's down by just 1. Puck bouncing out to center ice. Del Samuelson there to send it back in. Robert Spela takes a look, and Hawerchuk's on him, chopping it in front. And it goes by Terry and out to center. Mellenby's after it, and it rolls to Dvorak. 2-on-1. Niedermeyer to Dvorak, and Shell Samuelson wouldn't let the pass come across. Now Leclerc back for Philadelphia. Here's John Leclerc in front to Hawerchuk shooting, and Van Beesbroek got that on the short side. Under 4 minutes to play in the second period. It's a 2-1 Flyer lead. Otto cut down at center ice by Woolley. Mellenby at the end of a shift. And it's rolled into the Flyer zone as the Panthers make a change. Otto clears it into the Florida zone. That's Sean Podine in deep. It comes out in front and cleared quickly down the ice by Ray Shepard. Desjardins back to get it with Huffman. Podine having trouble with Stu Barnes on his back. Brindamore now. Watched by Gord Murphy. The return pass cut off by Shepard. Up to Stu Barnes. The Spruce Grove native drops for Jovanovski. The shot high, and Lowry crashed into Hextall. And we've got a penalty going against Dave Lowry. And Hextall goes over to bark some words in Lowry's ear.
And Carl Dykhouse standing over Dave Lowry. Dave Lowry going hard to the net. Ran right over Ron Hextall. Around behind Dykhouse. Dykhouse backs into him. Lowry right over the goaltender.
Hockey reunions. Seems every year the stories grow bigger.
You shot it, I deflected it.
While the Jackets, well, you know, all the more reason you'll appreciate the extra 34 cubic feet in our new minivans.
Goodrich TA tires are for people who look at driving like no one else. BF Goodrich. Show them your true colors.
Perfect camera angle on this shot by Dale Hawerchuk. What's he got to shoot at? John Van Beesbroek comes out, stays square, goes down, takes the puck right off the Panther, makes the save.
3:06 to play in this second period. And the Flyers with the 1-goal lead. Dan Quinn is cruising around at the Florida line as Brindamore brings it in. Brindamore centered it, and Van Beesbroek with the stop as Florida clears it down the ice. Lowry in the penalty box, and there are the numbers. It's been a big story tonight. Philadelphia with 2 power play goals on a double minor assessed to Brian Skrudland in the first period. Balloon shot, that trips wide. Moving up is Svoboda. He's hit hard by Huff. Balloon in the corner. Back to Dykhouse. That balloon watched by Kartner. Lost control of it, and Kartner will take over. The former Flyer defenseman slowly through center, and now he'll just dump it in and head to the Panther bench.
Kartner with Mike Huff and Brian Skrudland at the end of a shift, just dumped it in. A good smart play.
Harold Dykhouse firing it in with 51 seconds to go in the power play, and Fitzgerald clears it right back out. Now under 2 minutes remaining in the second period is Desjardins. Over center, rings the glass. Hawerchuk's on now with Leclerc and Lindros, but they'll have to go back to get it. 25 seconds left in the power play. Dan Quinn and Eric Lindros with power play goals in the first period. Paul Laws has scored for Florida in the second. And here's a race for the puck. Skrudland tearing after it. He has Mike Huff loose. Skrudland shooting off a skate wide. Huff on the far side. Final seconds of the power play ticking down, and Dave Lowry back on the ice. Nice work by Skrudland at the end of the penalty.
A lot better penalty kill for the Florida Panthers. John Van Beesbroek very active on the shoot-in, and the Flyers never had a chance to get set up.
Final minute of this second period. And here's Niedermeyer turning with it. Rob Niedermeyer's been a force tonight. Rolling it in. Stopped by Hextall on the rebound out to Lindros. He backhands it over Kartner's head and down the ice. And icing is the call. Well, we'll have crowd noise in the second intermission. We'll find out what folks across the country think as we move into the midst of round number 2. There is the number to call, 95 cents a call, and you must be 18 years of age or older to participate. And a lot more crowd noise here in the second period. After 40 minutes now at Madison Square Garden, 3-2 the score. Rangers off to a shaky start like Florida on home ice tonight, but are back in it like the Panthers. 33 seconds to play in the period, and we've got a penalty coming up.
It's an interference penalty. Which way is this going to go? Scott Mellanby or Shel Samuelson?
They look like they were holding on.
It's roughing. And it's Scott Mellanby who's going off.
He was trying to get his stick loose.
Scott Mellanby, 2-minute minor for roughing.
There's Mellanby and Samuelson at the top of the screen, and Mellanby with the right hand gives Samuelson the shot in the face. And that's the roughing penalty. Panthers had a great penalty kill on the last penalty to Dave Lowry, the goaltender interference penalty. Now they have to kill one off here at the end of the period, overlap into the third.
32.2 seconds to go in the second period. Lindros stays out with Leclerc and Hawerchuk. Brian Skrudland and Mike Huff, along with Kartner and Gord Murphy, the penalty killers for the Panthers. Sent in by Leclerc. And Kartner is there off the glass and down the ice.
chance for one more rush. The Flyers have been able to get nothing going these last two-man advantages.
That pass broken up at center by Murphy. LeClaire waiting for teammates to get on side. They don't get on track there, and Kartner will send it out to center as the period comes to a close. Much better period for Florida.
More their style of hockey here in the second. They were able to dictate the play with their good, solid forechecking.
Shots were 9-8 in favor of the home Panthers after being outshot 17-2 in the first period. And after 40 minutes in Miami, it's 2-1 Philadelphia.
Ooh, our own beach.
No neighbors.
No anything.
Wow.
Where are the windows?
Now this looks like home.
IRBM. Call Fargo Realty.
In the past, if your company had computer problems, you had very few choices. At Computer Distributors of Canada, we've changed all that. We now provide specialized business solutions using many of the major names, like IBM.
Get some timely goals.
Butterfly goaltender, that's the one time when you're very vulnerable. When you're on the way down, the stick has a tendency to pull up, and that's what happened to John Van Beesbrook. He was on his way down, puck just slid through.
A little offensive support by the other guys tonight. Dan Quinn now with a goal and an assist. And Philadelphia with the 2-goal lead once again, 7 minutes into this third period. It's 3-1, the scoring play. Platt with his 4th of the playoffs. Quinn and Brind'Amour get assists on the goal. There's a steal by Ray Shepherd, and he quickly shoots and just misses. Woolley's moved up now. Woolley back to the point. Paul Wall shooting, and that hit Therrien in front. And Karam's over the glass and into the stands as the Panthers try to get that one right back.
The country up here, it's what you want to do. You can't fake your freedom, and you know you can't fake smooth.
Well, I'm going up the country, never don't you wanna go. Yes, I'm going up the country, never don't you wanna go. Well, yes, I'm going somewhere where I've never been before.
626 Chronos. A family sedan that beats Camry and Accord in front-end collision protection. 626 Chronos. Smooth in everything it does. Car and driver. 626 Chronos.
Chris Cuthbert, John Garrett at the broadcast booth at the Miami Arena. Scott Russell is downstairs, and Trent Platt with a big goal here early in the third period to restore the Flyers' lead.
Well, Ray Shepherd talked about it at the end of the first period. The power play early in that first period that they didn't do anything, and it came back to haunt them. Here in the third, Sean Podine goes off. They have a power play, a good chance to capitalize. They did nothing again with the man advantage. Flyers come right back down and score.
12 minutes, 38 seconds to go. And a face-off in the Philadelphia zone. There's Rod Brind'Amour, who took a high stick in the first period on a face-off. In that face-off circle from Brian Skrudlin. Double minor was assessed. Philadelphia got a couple of power play goals while Brind'Amour was getting sewn up. Here's a loose puck in the Flyers zone. Dvorak was checked, and Howardchuk on the move. He can't get over the red line. Mellenby back in, tied up by Svoboda. There's Terry Kartner across to Svela. And off the skate of Dykhouse, rolling in behind the Flyer goal. Here's Carl Dykhouse. Terry Murray's happy with the way he has stepped up his play in the playoffs. Van Beesbrook around the boards. Lindros was there. So is LeClaire. Now Lindros back after. Watched by Niedermeyer. 88 pinned against the boards. And now it comes right back to him. John LeClaire behind the net. Trying to one-hand it to Lindros, who's tied up. And a pile-up in behind the Florida goal. And Bill McCurry whistles play dead.
Eric Lindros knocked down in behind the net.
He was telling us today that his general manager has been urging him to keep firing the puck, shoot as much as possible.
Shoot the puck from everywhere. We saw in game 2, John LeClaire ripped one through John Van Beesbroek from well out. It just trickled wide. Bobby Clark, big goals in the playoffs. May 7th, 1974. Philadelphia Flyers. Nobody with the helmets on. There's Bobby Clark snapping one by Gilles Gilbert. And look at the haircuts. There's Bill Flett with the full beard. Wayne Cashman along the boards. And ends up Bobby Orr. Gets one of his many playoff goals by Bernie Perron.
Orr got the winner that night, but the Flyers went on to win their first Stanley Cup in 1974. Bouncing in on Hextall, who was in goal in 1987 when the Flyers were in the Stanley Cup final. Shel Samuelson on that team as well. Ray Shepard up to Dave Lowry, who takes a look cross ice, band on the pass. Balloon takes the shot into the corner. Brindamore is after it, dumps it behind the net. And Bodine going after it, Laws around the boards, and it comes out to center. Flyers on a change as Terrien puts it back in. Jovanovski just got out of the way of a check. That was Bodine forechecking. Puck rolled to Van Beesbroek at the side of the net. And now Trent Platt, who has the goal in the third period for the Flyers. Into the corner by Otto. Bodine crashing in there forechecking, and Laws lost his stick as it's deflected out to center off the stick of Mike Huff. 10:20 to play in the third period. It's 3-1 Philadelphia. Here's a cross ice pass for Platt. Long shot off the mark. Comes around this near far side, and LeClaire looking for it. And Brian Skrudland is there. And when the Lindros line is up, Brian Skrudland is usually there. We've got an icing call against the Panthers.
Dad, you worked late.
Oh, all night. You need any help?
No.
Good. 'Cause I'm too tired.
Tested and true. Dad! I know that you'll always come through.
Thought you could use some help.
Thanks.
Last year, thousands of very special and precious faces went missing, leaving behind only heartbreak and memories. They came from all ages and backgrounds. They disappeared for a variety of reasons. On May 25th, please show you care by supporting Child Find's Green Ribbon campaign to bring our missing children home.
Well, we hope it was nice wherever you're watching the game today. They like to rub it in a bit here, I think, in Miami. There's the scoreboard down by the Zamboni. Philadelphia cloudy and 59 today. Yes, it was another gorgeous day in Miami. Here's Lindros sending it across the ice, and Scott Mellenby turns. Rink wide for Dvorak over the line. Radek Dvorak takes a look, shooting it. Hextall with the stop. Niedermeyer went after the rebound, tied up by Lindros. Dvorak looking for the loose puck. Worked it loose. Partners moved up. Florida going to take some chances now. He centers it front. Dvorak shooting, and Hextall somehow got an arm on that. And Dvorak was buried in front, and he is down. Lindros off the boards up to LeClaire, and they whistled play down after Dvorak got the hit, and you know what call Doug McLean's looking for.
What a save by Ron Hextall on this screenshot by Radek Dvorak. Dvorak was very good in the first period, had a great scoring chance, fired it high and wide. This time he doesn't get it high enough. Ron Hextall is screened. He's down. Scott Mellenby's there. Hextall looks around to the left, and because he looked to the left, he spotted that shot. Dale Howardchuk came by and hit Dvorak after the shot. Dvorak looks like he's all right. Dave Smith comes out to check on him. Now Doug McLean wants the high sticking penalty. Brian Scrudland had the high sticking penalty in the first period. There's Mellenby in front, creating traffic. Hextall looks to the left, spots the puck, gets the left shoulder. Howard-Chuck comes by, catches Dvorak with the high stick. Down he goes.
Well, that's the kind of luck Dvorak has had. He was 11th in rookie scoring this year, 13 goals, but he didn't score hasn't scored since February 21st. 2 of the game winners were against the Flyers, and in fact, he scored 3 times against Philadelphia.
There's Dave Smith checking Dvorak's ear.
Panthers think he's a 30-goal scorer in the future.
Here's Dvorak's shot. Hextall looks, finds it, lifts that left shoulder and makes the save, and Howard-Chuck on the way by catches Dvorak. Howard-Chuck is already looking into the corner for the rebound. Dvorak goes down and there's no call.
Well, that's his biggest save of the third period. 9:18 to play. And the Flyers with a 3-1 lead. The shots now 29-21. And remember, they were 17-2 after the first period. Puck flipped into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
You don't mind taking face-offs when you're 30 for 47. And to this point, the Flyers have dominated in the face-off circles, and it really means puck control, control in the neutral zone, control in your defensive zone. Brad Brind'Amour suffering the pains of taking a face-off. Brian Scrudland caught him with a high stick. Scrudland went off. Flyers scored 2 power play goals while he was off. Brind'Amour right back in there.
Niedermeyer for the Panthers wins this one. Jason Woolley tried to move and lost possession of the puck, and the Flyers get it out. Jason Woolley taking a more regular turn in this third period because the Panthers need some offense, and he's one of their best offensive defensemen. Paired with Gord Murphy. Mellenby's up front with Niedermeyer and Dvorak back on the ice as the Panthers move it in. Here's Mellenby shooting, and he blasts that one wide, and it rings the boards and comes out to center. Bill Samuelson, long rink-wide pass. There's Bodine without the helmet digging in there. Van Beesbrook stopped that, and Woolley will turn it up ice. His teammates changing as he hits Jody Hull. Fitzgerald over the line, shoot in eye high, glove down by Hextall, and he'll take a little shove, but Hull cruising in there, and he'll get a whistle. These fans looking for a comeback. Their team down by 2.
See the bear? Taste the food. See the bear? Taste the food. The Team Burger, a specially seasoned patty covered with processed cheddar and crisp, smoky bacon. See the bear?
When it comes to shopping for auto parts, come into UAP Napa because you can trust your local UAP Napa Auto Parts store for superior parts availability, expert advice, and friendly service. UAP Napa. And watch for UAP Napa's Looking Good flyer. Sale is on May 13th to June 8th. So when you need quality parts and accessories, put your trust in UAP Napa Auto Parts. UAP Napa, the real auto parts people.
Scott Mellenby has played a much better game tonight. Here he grabs Sean Podine, gets away with that one, but creates his own scoring chance. Podine goes down. Mellenby finds the loose puck, goes in on Dale Howard-Chuck, or on Ron Hextall, keys it up, but they're trying to go high. Obviously, they're trying to go high on Hextall, and again, that was about a foot over the crossbar.
8:05 to play, third period. Here's Desjardins on the move. Dan Quinn, who has 2 points tonight, takes the shot in. And now Jovanovski out on the left wing to Bill Lindsay. Fitzgerald's on the move. Right side pass over the line, and that's called on the offside. Here again, Scott Russell.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. Ron McLean and Brian Hayward were talking about great playoff scoring streaks in 1990. John Druce, this man beside me, scored 14 for the Washington Capitals. John, can you recall that, and what it's like for a player to get in a groove at playoff time?
Well, it's a great, exciting time of the year to play, and I think that back then I just remember going out every night and trying to focus on the job at hand. And I think we've had a couple players tonight stepping up to the plate, like Trent Platt and Dan Quintz had a fantastic game, so it's a real exciting time of the year for everybody.
I know you're injured now. Can you explain your injury and when we might see you back?
I injured my knee in the second game of the first series, and it's been a problem for me. It's a sprained knee, and I should be back hopefully by the end of this series here. I'm looking forward to coming back, but I'm really not sure exactly when.
Hey, John, we'd like to see you out there scoring goals again. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, he's been skating with a brace. Here's a break for Falloon, and Van Beesbrook down as Falloon was unable to slide it underneath the goaltender. And Pat Falloon's been a little snake bit, and he wanted that one.
A rolling puck. Couldn't quite get enough on it. John Druce had 8 points in the last 5 games he played. The Flyers could use him. Falloon gets this puck as he's going to John Van Beesbrook. He doesn't have much time or room, and it's a rolling puck. He tries to pull it back, can't get it back, and Van Beesbrook sprayed on him.
Well, as the Flyers go later into the season, he won't be home to help Dad plant the grain this year in Fox Warren, Manitoba.
And he's hoping he misses black fly season. He said he'd catch mosquito season if he gets back at the end of June, but the black flies will all be gone.
It's still a 3-2 Penguin lead. Ron McLean will keep you updated on any further happenings there. Roberts Vela again with Terry Karkner. Sturdy defensive pair for the Panthers. Work it ahead, and here's Niedermeyer, who's been dangerous tonight. Snapping the shot as Mellanby goes to the net. Niedermeyer along the backboards, trying to get it loose again. Mellanby picks it up. Dvorak's in front, centered, but Eric Lindros is in front too, and he gets rid of it down the ice. Under 7 minutes to go. Third period, and it's a 2-goal Flyer lead in game number 3. Pass for Mellanby over the line, broken up by Dykhouse, and Niedermeyer turns. Hasn't been able to get untracked offensively yet. Doug McLean has liked the way he's played in the last 4 or 5 games. And he's been a threat tonight. Here's LeClaire centering it. And coming back is Laws. Paul Laws, who has the lone goal for Florida, works to center and backhands it in. Hextall out of the net. Looks like he got his signals crossed with Terrien. In behind is Lowry. He's pinned by Shell Samuelson. Lowry trying to work it loose. Now Terrien's in there along with Barnes. And they still grind it out. Finally, Bill McCurry will blow play dead. 5:54 to go in the third period.
Sensual. Very sensual.
Hot. Very hot.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Really, really hot. You never forget.
You never forget your first one.
Red hot deals. Hurry.
Rod Brindamore gets set for another face-off in the Philadelphia zone. Matched up against Stu Barnes. 2-goal Philadelphia lead, restored by Trent Platt in this third period. And the Flyers won the face-off cleanly. Barnes tripped up. Here's Shepard with a near steal, but Brindamore recovered and got it out of there. Glove by Desjardins, and they call it on the glove pass. Well, we may have to get used to the Sun Belt playoffs.
California teams from 87 to 93 with the LA Kings in the playoffs, and then San Jose the last couple of years. Surprise upsets in the first round for the Sharks. And the Florida teams making it. There's a San Jose's postseason uniforms. Their pal in Calgary, Dave Elston, supplying us with these. fish sticks for the San Jose Sharks, and the new uniforms, that angry King Arthur on a golf shirt, the 4th uniform of the LA Kings. And who's going to be the next California team to make the playoffs? It might be the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
I think it might be. Here's Balloon digging deep into the Florida zone. And the Panthers up with it. Mike Huff sent it rink wide. There's Ray Shepard ringing the board. Strudlin into forecheck. Mike Huff crashing in there. Shepard joining Strudlin and Huff. Here's Gord Murphy with a shot. That goes high. Around the boards and a breakout the other way for Balloon. Here's Balloon shooting it in at the end of a shift. And Murphy will take over. Rolling it ahead. Strudlin didn't see it coming. Murphy gets it back again. Shepard winding up through center ice. Here's Ray Shepard over the line. Send it across. And John LeClair sends away Lindros. One-on-one shooting it. And Beesbrook the stop. LeClair looking to center it. And Robert Spela came back. Spela, center ice, 4.5 minutes to go now. 3-1 Flyers. 2 first-period power play goals, and flat, even strength in the third.
Get the line, get the line!
Carter takes a look. Lindros watching him. And now Bodine out there again. Here's Carter. Left wing pass to Dvorak, and he lost it as he crossed the line. Otto turns. Lead pass, gloved down by Spela. And a lot of the play right now at center ice. Pass went by Dvorak. Off the boards, and now Dvorak has it. Lost it to Otto, who gets it out. And the fans trying to urge the Panthers on here for a goal to make it a 1-goal game.
Trying to get something to cheer about. They did in the second period. Lots of good hits early for the Panthers, but they can't get anything going here in the third.
Comes around and Jovanovski's after it, trying to center it. That hits Svoboda off a skate. But sends it across ice, and there's Dan Quinn on the move. Brindamore's in deep. Brindamore behind the net, stays with it, centers it. And it comes back to Samuelson. In behind the goal, Quinn. For Balloon, the shot, and that's kicked out by Van Beesbrook. Quinn plays it back, and it hopped over Terrian's stick. And back to the Flyer line. Panthers quickly change. Exactly 3 minutes to go in the third period. As Van Beesbrook plays it around the board.
And there goes the Flyers with another quick change. They've really done a good job here in the third period. Short shift, crisp forechecking.
And the puck out of play. 2:49 remaining with the Flyers leading.
The country up here, it's what you want to do. You can't fake your freedom, and you know you can't fake smooth.
Well, I'm going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go? Yes, I'm going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go? Well, yes, I'm going somewhere where I've never been before.
The Winnipeg Police Association is proud to support the Children's Hospital Research Foundation and the Children's Miracle Telethon. Join us and our family of sponsors in this special celebration of giving, June 8th and 9th on CBC Manitoba.
I'm Nancy Gregory for Health Matters. What matters to you? We want to know. You can reach us at 788-3656 or by email 24 hours at winnipeg.cbc.ca. Health Matters weeknights on 24 hours.
John Van Beesbrook heads back to his net. 2:49 left here. The Panthers down by 2. How early will Doug McLean pull his goaltender for the extra attacker?
Olsen 3 stars coming up after tonight's game.
A lot of the fans leaving the Miami Arena, throwing their wraps on the ice. They haven't had a chance to throw too many, and usually they bring 3 or 4 just in case.
They must have, because there were thousands on the ice, it seemed, after the only Florida goal in the second period. Here's Carter working it out to center. Rolling it in. And Fitzgerald intercepted, and now play whistled down.
The offside.
It's a delayed offside.
That long flip in didn't quite make it. The downfield coverage got there too soon. Dale Hawerchuk with the 2 shiners after the broken nose. 10 stitches across the bridge of the nose. And what did he miss? 2 shifts? How long would a baseball player miss with an injury like that? Come on, Chris, you do some baseball games. You know those baseball players up close and personal. How long would a baseball player miss with an injury?
You're trying to get me in trouble. I will give you this. Dale Hawerchuk has played the entire night on a line with Eric Lindros and John LeClair.
Yes, again.
And Hawerchuk gets it ahead to Lindros. Here's Dykhouse on the move over the line. Passing left side, LeClair blasted that one wide. Hawerchuk bodied and taken down by Kartner and Spela. Moving it with 2:10 to go, and Van Beesbrook leaving the net. It's a delayed penalty going against Philadelphia, and Dykhouse will touch it, and a penalty call which gives Florida power play with 2:03 to go.
And this is going against John LeClair. And that, it's Dale Hawerchuk who is being mauled. Ends up getting up after he was knocked down. Takes the slashing penalty. I thought John LeClair was getting it as he goes by. Terry Kartner has Hawerchuk down. Hawerchuk gets up, the slash there, and Bill McCreary standing right behind the play makes the call. Here's Kartner's hit on Hawerchuk. Pins him down, keeps him down. Bill McCreary's looking at the play, and the retaliation slash called.
So a last gasp here for Florida.
This is almost the same scenario as the Panthers wanted in Game 2, except they were only down 1 goal. They wanted a chance to pull their goalie and have a 2-man advantage. They've done that with 2:03 left.
So 6 attackers on the ice. And unfortunately some debris as well. So they'll have to clear that off.
Sparklers being thrown, that could be dangerous.
Stu Barnes to take the face-off. Niedermeyer, Mellenby, Shepard also up front. Woolley and Svela are the point men. And Brindamore, who's been great on the draws tonight, in there, and he knocked it by the Panthers and out to center.
2 schools of thought on this. Give the power play 30 seconds to try and score. With the goalie in, you'll have a 1-man advantage, or do it right away like Doug McLean did, try and capitalize with 2-man advantage.
Here's Woolley to Spela, who misplayed it and has to chip it in. It's a delayed offside. Flyers get it out to center again. Ray Shepard on the Flyer half of center, clears it in. Hextall playing it there. Around the boards it comes. Spela into Mellenby in the corner. Samuelson watching him. Barnes behind the net. There's Niedermeyer, watched by Samuelson. Back it comes to Niedermeyer. Near side Barnes. Works it to Woolley. There's the shot well wide. Spela again. Jason Woolley to Barnes. 1:10 to go in the game. Stu Barnes shooting off the glove of Hextall. Spela's moved in. Minute left in the power play. There's the shot. It goes wide of the net. Under a minute to go in the game, and play is whistled down as the net knocked ajar.
Great save by Ron Hextall. Had the glove up. Got enough of it to steer it wide. Joe Samuelson down. He's had a great game for the Philadelphia Flyers on defense. Played a lot. Ron Hextall, 2-man advantage, and Doug McLean doesn't like the way his team has not been able to really get the quality scoring chances with the 2-man advantage. They had the 1 good shot, and Hextall made the save. And Florida now is taking a timeout. And Doug McLean's going to discuss exactly what he wants his team to do.
Well, they're in the final 15 seconds at Madison Square Garden, and that Penguin flurry early in the game looks like it will stand up, as the Pittsburgh Penguins have won Game 3 in New York, and they regain the lead in the series with a big win on the road.
Well, the story of the playoffs, and we were talking about unlikely heroes, although Dave Lowry, 5 goals. He only had 10 all year. But how about Ken Reagan? Comes in. Pittsburgh always wanted Tom Barrasso to be their #1 guy. He'd come back from an injury. He'd get to play. And now Ken Reagan carrying the mail for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Even though he's been outshot in just about every game he's played, they still win.
Ken Reagan, save percentage going into the night, .937, and those are numbers you're used to having beside you. I think in a different category, no?
You're going to say my goals against average. I kept it under 7. Come on.
57.9 seconds to play in the third period, and the Panthers still on the power play. 54 seconds left in the penalty, and that puck dropped unfairly as we saw Barnes moving early. As Terry Murray said before the series started, if you're not cheating on those draws, you're not trying.
And Joel Otto gets so low, it's hard for the other center to even see the puck hit the ice.
Otto wins it. Desjardins slapped at it. It went by Woolley, who got a piece of Otto. And Otto looked to Bill McCurry for a penalty call. Play continues. Woolley on the move. That's knocked down by Desjardins. They say it wasn't a high stick. Now they move it in, and it's offside as Barnes was anxious to hop in.
Flyers doing a good job, not only winning the faceoffs, but along the boards. There, Joel Otto battling Jason Woolley. Tipped it out over the blue line. Killed some more precious seconds.
35.5 seconds remaining. Well, this has been a thorough effort by Philadelphia. All the talk was about Lindros, LeClaire, and Howard-Chuck, particularly 88 in Game 2, but from Hextall out, it's been a solid Flyer road game tonight.
Support. We talked to, when Joel Otto was on, he was talking about other guys giving support. How about Trent Platt? Key goal. Dan Quinn, goal and assist.
This time, Lindros wins the draw back into his own zone. Carrion off the board, gloved down by Spela, who's hit at the line. Barnes keeps control for the Panthers. Now flipped again to the line. Spela apparently didn't keep it in. It came out, and they call it again offside. 19.7 seconds left in the third period as the Flyers are doing a nice job of protecting their 2-goal lead. And, of course, our Stanley Cup playoff coverage continues tomorrow from St. Louis, where the Detroit Red Wings try to make it 3 in a row against the St. Louis Blues. We'll be back here at the Miami Arena for Game 4 on Thursday night. On the face-off, Howard-Chuck going after it, and he's had to stick up a few, and Mellanby over. And Mellanby eyeing Lindros.
And Lindros has got the gloves up. He gave Spela a shot from behind. Eric Lindros hit Stu Barnes in Game 2 with a high stick. Cut him. There was no call on that one. Right from this face-up, Lindros took a swing at the puck and just missed Barnes. There's the shot on Spela, and Mellanby didn't like it. He comes over. Here's Lindros the shot, and Stu Barnes was trying to get in. Only a few seconds left in this one, and Lindros had the gloves off.
The fans again sending debris on the ice, and it might take a while to finish the last 6 seconds or so of this one.
Now, will Terry Murray keep Eric on the ice with only 5.8 seconds, or will Bill McCreary call a penalty on him, send him to the dressing room?
Okay, looks like we're ready. 2 seconds left in the Howard-Chuck minor. And Jovanovski sends it down the ice, and now Jovanovski took a swing at Lindros.
And here comes
Podine moves in,
over.
And the game's over, but we're
now
not done yet.
Lowry over on Podine, and here we go. This is going to be too much for anybody to handle.
Hextall's in there because Bill Lindsay, I think, is on Lindros. And Lowry really in a tussle in front of the Florida bench with Podine.
And there's John Van Biesbroek now. He's out trying to get Hextall out of it.
Well,
Paul Laws, who is probably the toughest Panther on the ice, is being watched by Bill McCreary. Laws now, he's got a grip on Shel Samuelson. There's Jovanovski trying to get at Lindros.
And Lindros went down with Dan Shakti. And Hextall's now into it. Lindsay's on Hextall.
And here, now Shel Samuelson is trying to get Lindsay off Hextall. John Van Beesbrook is now getting involved with Hextall.
Now there are major fines for post-game fights, but this may be interpreted
this started
as fighting before the period ended.
It did. It started before the end of the period. Now we've got some fans involved with the Flyer bench. Sean Ankoski is standing up.
Now Howard Chuck is jostling with Fitzgerald. Van Beesbrook and Lindsay are on top of Hextall.
And there's Dave Lowry and Podine. They might go.
Yep, they're still talking about it. Jovanovski.
Here we go. Take the sweater off.
And Laws is going to get involved. They don't want to lose Lowry. Now
Laws is going to go with Podine. Now Tyrion comes in.
Jovanovski is gone, and so is Lindros. They've gone to the dressing rooms, so they're not going to be involved in anything further.
Now, this is a bad thing when you get over by the glass. Now, all the fans are right there. They're trying to get involved, but it looks like cooler heads will prevail. Sean Podine is being ushered to his end of the ice. Dave Lowry. Sean Podine being patted on the back by the Flyer bench. And away goes Dave Lowry.
And now we are done. Game 3 over. Flyers win it 3-1. They lead the series 2-1. And in just a moment, Darmolson, 3-star selection.
CBC Current Affairs.
How is a person supposed to believe that something falling on your foot?
The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, our feature presentation.
What's up, Philly? We're the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Let's go Flyers!
And now, our feature presentation.
What's up, Philly? We're the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.